to explain to us just a little bit more what KQLT is. Veronica, take the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jen. And thank you for that introduction. Welcome, everyone. Just to let people know, we are just a few of us on this panel, but the whole event is on Facebook Live. Welcome, Sonya, who is our guest today. I'm sure she's going to tell us more about herself and what she does, and obviously talk to us. We are so keen to listen about nutrition because nutrition is life. So as you heard, my name is Veronica Carraro, co-founder of Kevin Carraro Leukemia Trust. As you're aware, Kevin Carraro Leukemia Trust was formed after Kevin Carraro failed to get a bone marrow match. We realized that there are very few Black people who are registered to become stem cell donors. And it was very sad and disappointing to know that if you are Black and unfortunate to get leukemia, you got very low chance of getting a stem cell donor. So we took it upon ourselves to get out there, create awareness, and encourage people of BME community to register to become stem cell donors, thus becoming lifesavers. So you are a hero if you register and actually save. Even if we save one life, we always say, if we can just tell people to register and just one life is saved, then we know we have done something. So it is really, that is what we do. We create awareness. Sometimes people hear about cancer or somebody has had cancer. And sometimes you always think it happens to people out there, but really and truly it can happen to you and to your family anytime. So what we really educating people and creating awareness is, let us all be proactive. Let us do something. We don't have to wait till the cancer hits us or one of us or one of our family gets it. Let us be proactive in doing something to really, avoid getting to a place whereby one of you or one of a member of your family could get blood cancer. They'll be requiring a blood transplant or, a stem cell transplant or blood transfusion, and there is none. So, and that is what we are all about, encouraging Black people to really be proactive in solving our own problems, because what I realized is that this is our problem. It is not the Caucasian problem. It is our problem. That if Black people, we don't come out, if we don't save our own, then we are always going to be struggling to save lives or our friends and families' lives. So that is what we are all about. Welcome again for Sonya. I don't want to take time for the nutrition for what we are here today, but I hope at least we have given you a small gesture or a small kind of introduction of what KQLT do. We have a great vision in KQLT that in Africa, because you only have stem cell registrations in the Western world, there is none in Africa. And of course, stem cell donation goes with ethnicity. If you're Black, you match a Black. If you're Caucasian, you match a Caucasian. If you're Asian, you match Asian. So it all adds up that if Africans had their own stem cell registrations, I'm sure most African people will actually get stem cell donor match. So there wouldn't be so many issues and problems of us getting matches. But of course, it's a huge vision. But they always say a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So we are not afraid to have that vision. But so long as we can save lives where we are, I think that's what is important. So thank you so much for listening to me. And back to you, Jen.
Yes, thank you, Veronica, for that. I want to add that KQLT works with different organizations. We work with blood donors. We also work with one of the organizations that we work with is called Anthony Nolan, who we register people with. And as we continue, we're going to mention a few more things here and there, and would want you to be very informed. But if we miss anything, even if we don't say as much, we have a website, we're on social media, and all our information is on there. So please feel free to find us on kklt.org, where we're going to leave our information in the chat box. Right. I hope you're ready for the nutrition part of this event today. I want to call Miss Sonya Barnes. Say hello first before I ask you anything else.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the invitation again. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good. Miss Sonya Barnes, who are you? Who is Miss Sonya Barnes?
I'm a nutritional therapist, naturopath nutritional therapist, health coach, and health educator. I help women in particular. I help everyone, by the way, but in particular, help women to in tune with their body, find their route to wellness, vitality, and energy. Now, we're all on a journey to health, but the journey could take different routes. R-O-O-T, not R-O-U-T.
Yes, you did put the word root. Then what's this about?
Right, so we know we're all coming, we're like a seed being planted, right? And we grow from tiny babies and grow up to big, with lovely age, I would say. Not old, I don't use the word old and age, advanced in age, fair enough, but we all grow. But we all are on a journey. We're all on a journey. And a lot of times we think, okay, because we are advanced in age, then it's acceptable to think I'm old now, so I just have to accept what is my fate. I'm old, so backache, knee pain, that's my crucible. It doesn't have to be that way. So we're all on different routes to wellness and energy. And that's where I come into supporting that individual to say, look, this is what, from my experience and working with people, looking at you and that's why it's unique, and health is unique. And that's why it's your route, which will be very different to someone else. Another sister sitting next to your route will be much different from yours. But we're still under the banner or still working towards optimum health or feeling good about ourselves, so that we can do the things that we love to do and the things that we ought be on this world to do, because we just didn't come here to just eat, sleep, work, and that's it. we all have a duty of doing something to helping someone else.
Yes.
But sometimes how often that happens when illnesses takes over and we can't do the things we want to do. Even us to run around with the grandchildren or just to go out walking, we know we have things that stops us from doing that. So it's finding your route to that wellness, vitality, and energy.
There's the word holistic, right, just before nutritionist therapist in your title. So what's this about?
So I always categorize it as, if you have a bag, let's use a bag, and in that bag you may have the wallet, the purse, or coins, or it could be lipstick, let's be real, lipstick, powder, tissues, we have many different things in that bag. All right. When I think of holistic, it's not just the bag, it's the different compartments, the different things that you put in that bag. So when holistic is not just talking about exercise, it's not just talking about nutrition or sleep, it's a whole diet and lifestyle thing that comes in. Because the individual who exercise a lot may not be eating the right things. And because they're not eating the right thing, they're not sleeping properly. So it all impacts. So it's like, for example, when we go to the doctors and we say, okay, doctors, this is happening to me. And they look at one particular area. The doctors in hospitals, we have departments. We have the gastro, we have the urinary, we got all different cardiovascular different departments. But the body works in a holistic way, which means one area of the body will have a direct impact on the other. So when you talk about holistic health, it's not just one particular thing you're looking at, the physical, the mental, the spiritual, all that ties in to being a healthy person or on the journey to be healthy.
Right.
So that's the holistic aspect of it. Not just looking at one little segment, but incorporating other parts of health.
I understand food is a very good healer. And for us today, we're talking about the power of food that heals, good nutrition that actually heals. So I would want you to start us there. What's a good diet? What and why do I need a good nutrition? Me as a normal person, and then another person who's actually going through cancer.
Right. Okay. When we say nutrition, I always go back as far as whatever you're going to put in your mouth. There needs to be a decision of what is this food doing to my body? Because a lot of times we are overfed but undernourished. And so good nutrition is going to support the body. Don't just think as food as chemicals, as calories. Some people think, oh, I have to watch my calories. And so there may be a healthy food, but because the calorie numbers are quite high, they shun away from that food and go for something less calorie, which is not nutrient dense. We want to eat foods that's going to send messages. I mean, foods coming in is chemical anyway, but foods coming in is a chemical to go through the bloodstream, to go around. This is just basically explaining it. That's going to go through different parts of the body. Now, they are roughly, I think it's about 60,000 miles worth of blood vessel in the body.
Wow.
Let me just let that sink for a bit. As much as that blood vessels, right? So we think all those blood vessels, all right, so what am I feeding those blood vessels, which are everywhere in the body, from your big toe all the way up to the crown of your head?
Yes.
Blood vessels are there, right?
Yes.
So in order for me to feed those, we need to have good circulation. Good circulation doesn't happen on its own like that. And so that's why when you hear someone say, or a doctor may say, eat a good diet. But what does that look like? What does that look like? What does a good diet or a healthy diet or a balanced diet looks like? Now, some will probably say, well, I need to have my carbs, which is the macronutrients now, my carbs, my protein, and my fats. Make sure to have that in there. Okay, that's great. Those are macronutrients. How about or micronutrients? And this is where the extra strength, or I should say boosters, come in to feed the body, those micronutrients. And you may think, oh, but they're not that much. They're micro, so they don't mean that much. I'm talking about things like your magnesium, I'm talking about selenium, talk about silicon, copper, zinc, the list is endless. There's so many micronutrients that we shun over. What we hear about is iron and calcium, right? Yeah. And those are the bigger ones. So iron, calcium, potassium, magnesium. And I'll come on to magnesium in a minute, because magnesium is one of those minerals that forms part of my 5 M's, 5 M's to a healthy body. I have a program on that. So we'll come on to that in a little bit.
Yes.
And so you have the smaller micronutrients that are so crucial to the body. And if we're not eating foods that have those in, then we are cutting ourselves short. We're doing ourselves a disservice when it comes to eating. So to say a healthy diet is key to health. It is key in having for your body to operate well. We have the car, we put water in, or some of these new cars, I mean, they don't even need water, but these but we need electric for those who use electrical cars. We need the gas or the petrol in these cars. We do far more. We take it to the mechanic. We ensure that the engine is working right. The spark plugs are there. The battery, everything is working well. How about the body? What are we doing to our bodies? What are we putting in that will give us that electric to move? That gives us, all the substance that we need, that the organs need for them to do their functions. And that's why it's crucial to eat a healthy diet, and a diet that contains macronutrients, micronutrients, or I'm going to talk about micronutrients now. I talk about all the antioxidants, all the polyphenols and the resveratrols and all the different compounds. So when you hear the word eat your rainbow, eat like a rainbow, take it literally as eat like a rainbow. Because when you eat a vast amount of foods, which means fruits and vegetables, grains and nuts, you're more or less covering it all. It's covered, you're covering. So as opposed to when you just eat a particular thing every week, every Friday or Saturday, you go shopping, you probably don't have to open your eyes. You know exactly where to pick those stuff up because you've been doing it week after week, unless Sainsbury decides to change around the aisles and put things differently. You walk in and you know where this is and that is, and you're out of the shop because you're actually eating the very same things every week, which means you can't be eating a variety of it. You need to step out of what is the usual for you in order to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. And then that's where you're getting the building blocks for the body.
But then let's come to a person who's going through cancer, because to be honest, I've had so many people say they did not get proper telling and a proper information to what they're supposed to eat. I'll give you an example. For instance, when I was in hospital, I would ask for certain things, and a perfect one was I asked for vegetable soup, and I was brought, well, let's just say canned vegetables was brought to me, warmed up, and that was it. And you'd think, why am I being given vegetable soup in hospital? No, canned vegetable soup in hospital. I thought, there's so many chemicals in this. I'm already taking chemotherapy, so why am I having this then? And there was a chef on the ward. So I'm thinking, why am I having this? Already, they should know better. And I'm going through all these chemicals being put in me. So what's the advice for someone who's going through cancer, or someone who's caring for someone who's going through cancer, in terms of what foods to eat? Because there's all sorts of myths out there as well.
Good question. Very, very good question. Now, in my understanding, and let's say myself, I've got firsthand knowledge of this, that when in those institutions, they are not actually looking at nutrition as the way how I would, or other people on my profession. Are doing. Because things are getting much better now. But prior to, say, last couple of years, no, because during their studies, they're only apparently studying maybe an hour or two at the most. Some would say maybe a month of nutrition during the 3 to 4, sometimes 5 years of becoming a professional. So the knowledge is limited, and anything outside of conventional medicine is looked upon like, no, that's secondary. There's no way that can have an impact. So for yourself, unfortunately, giving that such poor foods, and not just you, I've had clients who said, I'm in hospital and I'm getting this. I have this really chronic illness and I'm being fed this. And I've left the hospital saying, okay, you're okay to eat anything now. When I hear that, I'm like, there's no way you can, in your situation, where your immune system is already broken.
Yeah.
When our immune system are impaired is the reason why we have flus and colds and you name it. And the cascade goes on where it could be until you get to a diagnosed illness, chronic illness. It's because our immune system is broken. So we want foods that are going to build the immune system. So the individual who is actually, anyone listening in who are actually going through a chronic illness right now, you want to put in on your plate, in your food, on your plate, you need to be eating anti-inflammatory foods. So foods that's going to build your immune system, which means not processed foods, not packaged. When you look at the ingredients, you're tongue-tied in pronouncing some of the words that's going to be in the ingredients list. Just look at the ingredients. And if you recognize you're not recognizing foods there, that tell me you have a packaged food here, a processed food. It is processed. And especially if you're in a chronic state of illness, you want anti-inflammatory fresh foods to eat. Foods are electric, foods with lots of colors, because all these different colors, the reds, the purple, the yellow, did I say red? Just white, all of that. We want all of that in our diet, because guess what? Those are the food that's going to make you feel better. So I'm not saying to you, don't go to your institutions for support. I'm not saying that. But what I'm actually saying is that when you leave those institutions, be the CEO of your own health. If it's one thing you're going to take away today is be the chief executive officer of your health.
Do you mean
So,
I need to be responsible for
be
my
responsible for your health? Yeah, and that's where the awareness. So you putting on this program here today is really good to bring awareness to others that look, hi, there's another way to this. I'm not saying it's the only way, but way that is going to support what you're currently doing. So it's feeding. So those who are going through stuff is getting all the fruits and vegetables out there. And you may not even like fruits and vegetables, but hey, these are the stuff that's going to bring healing. When I say healing, as in support to the organs. And never see an organ as in isolation. So for example, I've got IBS. Let's say I'm prescribing irritable bowel syndrome. That's a cascade of different things going on in the gut. It could be bloating. When I eat something, I burp it. It could be flatulence at the back. That's why you eat something and it doesn't agree with you. So hence why it's a syndrome, because there's so many different things that goes on. It could be the top of your stomach hurting, or it could be the lower part of your stomach that's hurting. So you're diagnosed with such thing. Now, fruits and vegetables are your friend. However, the fiber that it's going to take in needs to be gradually taking it into the body. So I'm not telling you to go and eat a big plate of could be kale, romaine lettuce tomorrow, right? But slowly build yourself up, including those greens and those reds on your plate, because those are ones going to eliminate and help you with the symptoms of, I'm just giving an example of IBS. It could be any illness.
Sonia, some of us young people think, oh, come on, you're telling me to eat, my plate needs to be a rainbow. That's boring. I want a burger. Even if I'm going through chemo, I'm just craving for a Burger King burger. What do I do?
Of course.
I want that McDonald's, whatever. And I guess as much as I'm being told, Sonia is busy telling me, you need to be healthy, you need to eat healthy. But then the craving, and I'm thinking this food is boring. You're just giving me beans and you're asking me to have peppers and kale on my food. Come on, what do I do?
Right. So let me just ask this one in the best way I can. So, and it could be young children as well. So how do you explain that to a young child? You can't have that.
Yeah.
So let me start from a place where parents who are responsible for feeding that child, feeding child. That parents need to understand, okay, all right, so the child's asking for a burger. Why don't you then probably get a more nutritious one then, so to speak?
Okay.
So you're still having burger, child's still having burger, but a more nutritious one. Because I always say to clients, if there's something that you're eating and you've been eating for many years, for me to say stop today, wow, some people do it, by the way. Some don't do it. Some can't manage that. But what they can manage is the graduation from it, gradual change, that transition. Are they using something as a substitute? Or if they had the burger 5 times for the week, all right, let's start with 4 times. And you build up to a point where you may have it once every month. The other times you're eating, you're putting in more nutrients in your body. So when you eat that one burger every now and again, fine, okay, it's not the best food, but it won't have such a detrimental impact on the body, because I tell you what, when that young person is sending out the burger, I'll say, Mom or Dad, say to this child, when you continue eating the burger, it makes your body, it doesn't feed your body with nutrients. When you eat such processed foods, it takes the body more energy, more nutrients that it's already depleted of. That's why we in the situation we're in, to break down that food. So if you have a diet which is constantly processed foods, and I don't always like to say bad foods because people eat these foods, but let me just say it's a food that doesn't have enough nutrients in it, as opposed to food that is loaded and packed, nutrient dense. All right. So if you're constantly eating a food that doesn't have a lot of nutrients, you're putting more pressure, stress, and you're pulling away natural resources in your body to deal with those foods that's coming through with less nutrients. So if someone eating bagel every day, white bread every day, let's call out their names, you're putting a lot of pressure on your body. because your body now needs to find extra minerals, extra nutrients to break down what you've just eaten. As opposed to if you start putting in nutrients already in the body with foods, then you're building up. So for the person saying, oh, I fancy a burger, all right, but let it not be every day that burger is coming in, because you're going to do yourself a disservice and you're not supporting your body that way and your organs.
There's another problem, because especially when you're on chemo tablets or you're even on chemotherapy, where basically when you're going through treatment, I'd say 50, this is just my guess with the percentage, but most of the people don't have an appetite. And as I said earlier, I mean, sometimes you get these cravings and you just want that McDonald's. But okay, leave the cravings aside. You just don't have an appetite. You really want to eat. And at this point, you want to eat anything, but you just don't have an appetite.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
I always say to clients that when you have your schedule, when you have the times you're going in for chemo, right?
Yeah.
During those periods of time, bulk up on your nutrients. Let me say nutrients. Bulk up then, because when the appetite doesn't come, that means the body still has some storage going on. There's something there to help. Because the fatigue, nausea, the vomiting, all that stuff will come with the treatment. And so you want to bulk up. So when you go for the treatment, yes, it's a horrible, I haven't gone through it myself, but what I've been told is not nice going through that.
It is not nice.
No. And then so you're looking for some anti-inflammatory type foods to help with the appetite. Now, I know for a fact, and let me just say for those listening, this talk is not to say you're going to run and change, but you need to speak to your medical profession and doctors before you change anything, and put a disclaimer out there. And this talk is more educational and bring awareness to how we can nurture our body. So minerals like zinc mineral, right? It's a very good mineral to incorporate in the diet when for not having appetite, have loss of taste and all that. Zinc mineral. Zinc and copper helps with that. So
I was just about to say, I thought zinc cannot work by itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So zinc will work, but zinc needs a friend, and the friend is copper.
Okay.
Both together. And they all fight for space in the body, and hence why we haven't got to that point yet, but I'll just say it here, that you try to get your nutrients as much as possible from your food. Let food be your medicine, medicine be your food. However, going through illnesses or conditions, diagnosis, there is a place for your supplements. And that's why I mentioned about zinc, because zinc does help with appetite building, to build your appetite and to open up your appetite in this case, where you're going through a treatment and you're not wanting to eat when you need to eat. So
what I'm hearing you say is that if you do not have an appetite at this particular time, so when you're having those pang moments where, oh, I can eat, so at that point, you pack in as much as you can. Eat
as much as you can. And, during that period of time, there are some particular foods that I normally highlight to people to incorporate in the diet, because it helps with, all anti-inflammatory, all fruits and vegetables, and it does help with blood flow, blood pressure. So when we talk about in terms of your charity, in particular to those people, you want to ensure that you have your ginger, your garlic, those ones, your turmeric, all of those foods, your dark leafy green vegetables, don't frown upon them. I tell you, they're your friends.
But Sonia, you want to tell me most of the things you're going to tell us today is eat lots of fruits and vegetables, just like what the doctor says.
Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. There's also a way to eating them as well. So when to eat them, how to eat them, how to get them in, because some people just don't like them. And you have to get to friends with them, friend them. You have to, because the moment you see the bowl of broccoli on your plate and you have a frown on your face, so your face looking a bit, what, this again?
Yeah.
That sends signals already to the body.
Yeah.
From the brain, now we know the brain and the gut, they link together, the gut-brain axis.
Wow.
And at this point, let me just step in to say, it's not just the gut, the brain and the gut, but also the immune system. So then we have, Dr. Khan says, the big B-I-G, brain, immune, and gut. Because 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. So when you see the plate of broccoli and you're thinking, huh, not this again.
Yes.
You're already sending signals from the brain to the gut and vice versa, because information goes up and down, down and up. They talk to each other. You're already sending a negative to that plate, and that plate won't have no good to you, because you're already sending stress. Stress is because you're not happy about it. You're not happy about the bowl of fruits. You're not happy about the bowl of a plate of greens. And that is why where it comes in, when you say, eat the greens and the vegetables. Yes, but how? So it's palatable, so it tastes nice, and I'm still getting the nutrients. That when I see it, I'll gravitate to it, because I know what I'm doing to my body is, it's in support of my body. Who wants to be in pain? Oh, I see your hand there, Sister Veronica. I see your hand.
Yeah, I think I that is something I didn't know, and I thought I to interject because I want you to explain further or better. So, are you saying that it is not just the vegetables, it's the attitude I bring into it? Aha.
Correct.
So when you say, can you explain that point? So it's the brain, the gut, and what else? Yes.
So the brain is direct connection with the gut via the vagus nerve, that big nerve, one of the biggest nerve in the central nervous system. They talk to each other. Information goes up and down. I liken it to the M1. If in the UK, if you live in the UK and you know what the M1 is, from south to north.
Yes.
And then, of course, on the M1, say you're leaving from London to, say, Leicester or to Manchester, or as far as the M1 goes. I know the M6 takes over up here. I like to drive, okay? So I kind of know some of these routes. Yeah, I enjoy driving. Yeah, and then from the M1, you can veer off to Rugby or to Coventry or to Leicester, and it goes all around. But there's main motorway. The vagus nerve is, I'm likening it to that. So the vagus nerve from the south, in the belly, in the gut area, all the way up to the brain, and all the way down to the abdomen, where we have the reproductive areas and the ovaries and all that going on. It goes as far as there, but it carries messages. Is that when you haven't seen a friend or a loved one for a long time, and the anticipation of meeting them at the airport and feeling happy, and sometimes you can feel the butterflies in your belly. It's like, oh, I'm gonna meet that person. I haven't seen that person for a long time. Yeah. The connection between the brain and the gut sends signals. That's why the gut is then referred to as the second brain. Because there's a lot that goes on in the gut area than the brain. A lot of people go to the brain for everything, but it's the gut. So when we talk about why do we eat healthy, why should we eat healthy foods, it's because in the gut, we have something called, with neurotransmitters, we have dopamine, feel good, this serotonin as well. 80% of serotonin transmitter is in the gut, not up here. So that's when you frown upon the food, you're sending signals that, oh, I don't want this again, or you're getting stressed about something. Let's say you're getting stressed about a matter. And it's the gut that tightens up. It's the gut that then has the constipation. If you realize when you're going through a traumatic situation, or loss of a job, loss of a loved one, you name it, traumatic situations. Oftentimes you eat and you're trying to eat healthy, but because the stress is already there, it's preventing you from digesting your food properly. Your bowel movements become sluggish. You may go once or twice a week. That's a no-no. If you're eating, you should be going, unless you're fasting, you should, and sometimes even when you fast, there's still remnants still passing through during that fast, okay? To eliminate. But if you're realizing that you're not constipated because you're stressed, the situation, you're constantly in that sympathetic nervous system. I know I'm moving from one place to the next, and I hope I'm not losing you. But when you're stressed, the body works better in a parasympathetic nervous state, which means rest and digest. This hustle and bustle and constantly stress, fight or flight, is not where we ought to be. We have good stress though, and we have bad stress, because it may be you're planning your wedding, you're expecting a baby, and you're stressing getting all that done. That's good stress, but the body doesn't see any different than it being stressed. Sonya is stressed, and right now, I'm not even going to be bothered about a reproductive system. So she's trying to have a child, forget that. That's not important. The hair on her head, leave that. That's too far up there. I just need to focus on more important things like blood circulation in the heart, the heart pumping. So the body then prioritize what is necessary, what it seems as necessary. So good stress, or classify those bad stress, the body sees it as the same. So if you notice, sometimes you have constipation, burping, not sleep, and as for sleep, that's another story. Not sleeping well. And it's all because the body works in a holistic way. It doesn't just deal with one aspect of anything. It deals holistically. So
what do I need to do?
The brain and the gut, they work, they talk to each other.
When I see those vegetables, what should I do so that my body can? So is my attitude affecting the way will it affect the way I eat, or the way it will be transmitted in my body? Because I just want to know how my attitude is affecting that in terms of my diet.
Thank you. That's a good question. Yes, so because food is mood. And sometimes when you eat something, you feel good about it. Oh, I feel good about this. Is it the food itself, or is it the communication that goes on in the body? That's why you mentioned, Jay, you mentioned about craving. I'm craving this. The body's not craving cheeseburger. It's not craving. The body's saying, I want more nutrients. I want more micronutrients, whether it be potassium, iron, calcium, molybdenum, selenium, chromium, especially chromium. If you're thinking I want something sweet, it's not the chocolate it wants, but we reach for chocolate. But we think, oh, I want some sugar. Chromium is a mineral. If the body is lacking chromium, you may think you want something sweet.
That means really, sorry, just to distract you a bit, that means really it's a matter of choice and discipline. That really, because as you say, if I'm craving something sugary and I'm going to reach for a sweet, but I can also have an option of reaching out for a pineapple slice. But I'm thinking, the chocolate sounds nicer. Really, it's as if we know these things, but then I guess the body plays tricks on us. And we're not saying these sweets, and I don't know, are they really bad? I mean, if we take them in moderation.
Right. So really coming back to your point, I'm coming back to your point there, Veronica, with the coming back to your eating. But I don't pick up on Jane's point. Just think of the pineapple and the chocolate, right? Okay. One's more sweeter, understand that. Just remember, that's what I'm saying. Whatever you put in your mouth from today, say to yourself, is this going to build my body or start to destroy? I know it's maybe a harsh message, but it's true. So the chocolate has less nutrients in that. The sugar, remember, sugar is not food. Sugar is like a chemical. It's like a drug. Apparently, it says that sugar is more lethal than cocaine, because that's why you're always wanting sugar. And sugar also depletes the body of nutrients. Let me say that again. Sugar, sweet stuff, pushes out any vitamin C you may have had in the morning, which is your orange or your apples and those things. It pushes it out of the bloodstream. It gets rid of it because it's so strong. And that's why we always go for the pack of, what's the one? Celebrations or Haribos, those chewy ones. We know the sweets. We know that.
Yeah.
We gravitate to that, but it's the body crying out that I want nutrients. But what we give it? More sugar. Yeah. More sugar. It could be the white bread. It could be the custard cream biscuit. I'm trying to remember these things. I haven't eaten them for such a long time. I'm trying to remember what they are. Yeah, it could be those. but it needs nutrients. So when you say you go for the chocolate bar because it's more nicer,
yeah,
I start shredding because all the chemicals are in it, and all them different chemicals the body don't really recognize. So what the body has to do is to go to reserves. It goes to the bone. And ladies, if you're over the age of 40 odd and you're perimenopause and you start having backaches and knee pains, sometimes it's because the body is reaching for the reserves. We know the bones, they carry all the minerals like the magnesium, the calcium, all the reserves. They pull it from there in order to break down the foods that you just eaten that has less nutrients. So it's a decision, you say, it's a decision that one has to make. Which of these two things, the chocolate or the pineapple, or it's a banana, whatever it is, which would do my body most good? And then try to break yourself off. It takes time. I'm not saying never ever to eat chocolate again. Absolutely not. No, what I'm actually saying.
Sorry, Sonia, I'm sitting here thinking this is a lot of discipline that is required, to be honest, because as I say, you really, it's your choice. But sometimes you look at those choices and you're thinking, today I feel like crisps, and it's not easy. It's not easy trying to eat a healthy diet, really.
But start from somewhere. Start somewhere. Small steps, I say. Small steps. I never said
back to the attitude of eating that Veronica was saying.
That's
Please
right.
Continue with that.
Yeah. So food is mood. So your food that you eat have a direct impact on how you feel. And so that's why there's lots of studies and research that the person who has low moods, that goes into stress and then anxiety before you reach depression and all of that thing going on, you need to check the foods that that person is eating because it has a direct impact. And the more we put in processed foods in our diet, it takes away the ability for us to think creative thinking, how we make our decisions, what we do. Food is more than just chemicals or calories. And just remember, food sends messages to the body. Yeah. So what message are you sending when whatever you're eating? And that is why when you see the plate, the emotion that you're experiencing in thinking, not this food again, or do I have to do this? Yeah, you need to get to a place where you actually see the benefits of those foods and gradually incorporating them more into your diet. If your goal in life is to have optimum diet, feel good about yourself, so you can do what you want to do and get rid of symptoms, then incorporate more fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts in your diet.
Nice. Sonia, we're going to take a break, just a short break. And after that, we're going to continue with, because you need to tell us more about selenium. I mean, we've been told so much about selenium and cancer. So we'll come back to that. But I need to ask you a question. Do you know one of the things that KQLT needs at the moment?
That's it again.
Do you know one of the things that KQLT needs at the moment? I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
So tell me one thing that KQLT needs at the moment.
What do you need at the moment?
Yeah.
Right. In the case of nutrition. Right?
No, just in general.
In general, what do you need?
Yeah, what the KQLT organization needs at the moment.
What do they need? Oh, they need supporters for one. So you're looking for it? Yeah, they need supporters and people who to donate to this charity.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing here is, I lost the word in saying, having this charity and trying to bring this awareness to people. And for those who are tuning in, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, via Zoom, is that to donate and be registered with charity and to support you as much as possible.
You've nailed it. You've nailed it. And I'm going to ask Veronica, tell us how, if someone's interested, how can they volunteer? How can they volunteer? 2, how do we register to be on the donors list? And 3, what's the third one? First, tell us those 2, please, Veronica.
I think our admin is going to show us or on the screen how to donate. We really need people to register to become stem cell donors. That is our heart message is that one. People registering to become stem cell donors is easy. You go to a form. I think our admin will be able to show you on our website. That's where it is. You go to our website, www.kkltrust.org. You click on stem cell. You're gonna get a form. You click on it, and then the process is so easy to register. And all you do, you just fill a simple form. They will send you a kit, and then you're gonna put your saliva and send it back to DKMS. At the moment, we are working with DKMS, so it's so easy. If you're 17, between the age of 17 to 50, and you're in good health, you don't have any major illness like DBT or cancer or any serious ill health. But if you're in good health and from 17 to 50, you can be able to register and become a donor. You can actually save a life. Now, what I'd like telling people that is just, you're just registering to become a potential donor. It does not mean that you will be a donor. You just only become a donor if you match someone. You might match someone, or you might never match anyone. So registering and becoming a donor, they're just two things. Registering is just saying, here I am ready to save a life if I can. So, and the rest is we leave it to God. If somebody gets leukemia somewhere and they needed them, then at that point, you could be able to save them. The other thing, obviously, as Sonya was saying, for us to be able to do our work, we do require financial support, and we would really, really be very happy if you supported us financially with whatever you can. So again, you can go to our website. You can see the yellow button there, donate. You just press on it. Again, the process is very easy. You just fill a form, you put in your details, and you just donate to us whatever. Every little helps. Anything you can will be very, very helpful. It will really, really help us with our volunteers and just doing the work that we do. So it's just, as you know, we can have very big visions, but without money, without anything, we can't even do anything. So we really need financial help. And last but not least, we want people to get involved. We want volunteers to come in and help us. Again, you can see you want to be connected. You check on the website. There is also that button where you can connect with us. Again, there is also a form for volunteer. If you want to be a volunteer, you can fill a form and you can be able to join us to volunteer for us. There are so many things that we need people to volunteer for us. We want people to volunteer for admin work. We want people to volunteer to help us raise funds, do events. So we really do require quite a number of volunteers to come and help us. And of course, the last one is really, really connecting with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like our stuff, share our stuff, tell people about us, tell people to donate, to register. That is what we want, because we really want to people to get to know who we are and what we are doing. If you help us, we always say sometimes it's not all about the money. It is also what you can do. But liking us and sharing is also, we really appreciate that. Coming in and helping us do our events, that is also another huge way of helping us. KQLT is actually run by volunteers. So we really, really value our volunteers because we are all volunteers, including me. So, So join us and connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. And we can show you here how simple and easy it is to register to become a stem cell donor.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, admin, for that. And as we've said, all our information is on our website, which will be shared on all our socials. And we really hope that you look into it, because these virtual events that we've done, we have actually received a response from different people. We've had questions, we've had people, in fact, we've had testimonies and so many things that we've been doing in the background. At the moment, there's a lady that we know that is still waiting. She's got leukemia. She's waiting for a match for such a long time. She's gone through the whole UK registry. No one's on it. I mean, as we said, we need more Black and ethnic people on this register. So the more you can spread. In fact, sometimes when I'm talking in my circle of friends, I say, "Have you registered?" I've actually coerced people to register, because you don't know who you might save. And we've had very positive feedback with people that have actually been donors, and it's an amazing feeling. I wish I could do it, but it's fine. So thank you so much, admin, for that short break. Thank you, Veronica, for your input. I'm going to go back to Sonya Barnes. Hey, Miss Sonya.
Hello.
Yes. Now tell us about these supplements, especially there's this one called selenium. That's when you get cancer. I remember being told you need to eat lots of Brazil nuts. It has a lot of selenium. And what is this? What's in it?
See, when the selenium, as other minerals, classified as micronutrients, and of course, I'll mention about one of my favorite ones that I'm talking about, but I'll talk about the selenium first. Selenium is one of those ones that helps fighting infections in the body. And that's why when when the message says, eat your rainbow, eat like a rainbow, or eat the rainbow. That's when you ever eat like a rainbow, different colors, you want the nutrients from that. And so selenium foods are kale, spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and all those foods. And they're from a breastfeed family, but because they have a particular compound, sulforaphane, that compound is what helps to strengthen the cells. So building, and linked to stem cells, building better cells. So we, have better blood flow, better red blood cells and white blood cells, and help to build the blood. And so anything dark and green is very good for cleansing and for building the blood. So that's why selenium comes in. Of course, we have Brazil nuts. And, we only need about 55 milligram a day. And that's why it's micronutrients. You don't need a whole lot, but if those things are missing from your diet, you're not getting selenium. You're not then feeding your blood or giving it better chance in order to, remember, blood bring all the nutrients, the oxygens, all that around the bloodstream, right? And all these blood vessels that we spoke about earlier, how long they are, but they're all in every part of the body. And so we need good blood. And to help the blood, to support the blood, that's why you were told to eat your selenium-rich foods.
Yeah.
I would sometimes recommend supplements, yes, but there's various degree of supplements, but supplements, be careful of supplements in the sense that all supplements are not made equal, right? And so you want a more food-based type ones. And there are companies out there who manufacture good brands. I wouldn't then say to you, go to any high street shop and pick up a supplement, because it won't be of the quality that I want my clients to have. So it depends on what it is. And something like selenium, I would say, try and have it in the diet. Foods first, because food is everything. Foods first.
Yes.
Then your supplements come. Remember, supplements means supplementing something. It's not thinking just on that supplement. We need to eat the foods and then to supplement with the supplement. Take something else, whether it's a form of a capsule, a liquid, whatever it is, supplementing the food to help the body. So it's not that it should be first before food. Oh, I don't like the taste of kale, let me take supplements. Or I don't like nuts, let me take this.
Yeah.
Because when you eat the foods, you're getting not the nutrients like that, but you're getting the fiber. So when you're told to take supplements, yes, the fiber in those, whether it's the cabbage, the cauliflower, the broccoli, kale, the spinach, all those foods, you're getting fiber. And fiber is key to the body. So let me just say, any illness, any diagnosed chronic disease, we need fiber. And they recommend the daily allowance. I think for female, it's 25 grams. We don't even sometimes reach 18 grams.
Whoa.
If you should check your breakfast you had this morning, and if you had dinner already, and to see, where's my fiber like today? I hope it's nearing the 20, 25, and that's the recommended daily allowance. When someone who I'm dealing with, who I'm working with, have a chronic illness or need some support, I go higher than that. That's if the body can take it. And I said before, you gradually build up to that. Because then if you don't have good microbes, I'm coming on to that, have good microbes in the gut, then they go haywire, then you start having the bloating. And people then say, no, I can't eat that because it makes my stomach bloat.
Yes.
Or I get flatulence, or I get burping. It's not because the food is bad. It's just that your body is not able to deal with it at that time, because the microbes in your gut are not liking that. They want chocolate, or they want something else. And let me come on to that now. When we talk about the gut, we have something called the microbiome. The microbiome is everywhere on the body, on the outside of the skin, and in the inside of the body. And every organ has a microbiome. So whether it's the kidneys, the livers, they're there. But majority of it is in the digestive system. So from the mouth all the way back, it's little bit and has the most. And we have something like 38 trillion. Apparently one writer says we have more microbiome, more microbes than stars in the sky. But hey, I'm just the same. And we need to feed those. And that's why taking supplements or not eating the right things, we're not feeding those guys. Those guys are our fighter. Remember I said earlier that 70% of the immune system remains in the gut. So if you're not eating foods that's going to strengthen the immune system, then we're not then surprised why you may have colds and flus very often, rashes on the skin, eczema, you name it, all other things will contribute to the microbes that are in there. Those microbes are responsible for your metabolism, how you break foods down, how you assimilate foods, how you digest them as well. Also, in terms of, let me just say, B vitamins, they break down B vitamins. So, and B vitamins come from, when you talk about B vitamins, they're water soluble vitamins, so you need to get them in your diet on a daily basis. B1, you must have heard of B1, B12, B2, B5, 6, 9, and all that. Yeah. And those microbes help to break those down. So if those microbes there are more bad ones than good ones, how are you going to break down your food? So you eat your fiber, you eat your kale, you eat your cabbage, and you have bloating. Yeah, because we have not so good, more of the not good ones down there than good ones. And those microbes, their food is fiber, and the vast, like eating the rainbow. That's where they get their nourishment from. So of course you may have heard of probiotics and prebiotics. We need things like, so when you talk about a diet or foods that someone who is going through a chronic illness should eat and focus on. So we want our onions or leeks or garlic or asparagus or sweet potatoes. We want those foods because those are considered prebiotic foods for those microbes that's in the gut, because they feed on them. And then when you eat the wide variety, that helps to feed those and create more microbes that's down there in the gut. It brings me on to just remember to say this, that when you eat your fruits and vegetables, especially your berries, they're high in phytonutrients. And that's what those want.
That's good, right?
Yeah, eating those. And the fruit that comes to mind is pomegranate. Now people say, pomegranate, there's too many seeds. It tastes tarty. I don't like that. That particular fruit helps the microbe, feeds the microbe in the gut that is responsible for the cardiometabolic syndrome. Let me just break that down, bring that down to our day-to-day language. That's responsible for all the cardiovascular issues. So if it's obesity, if it's high blood pressure, if it's heart, anything to do with that part of the body. Pomegranate in particular, as a fruit, feeds the microbes that helps with the supporting of those illnesses. So when you hear eat your fruits and vegetables, don't just think it's a throwaway comment. It's just a line. It's just a phrase. It's just a saying. Those foods do have a place in your diet.
You've mentioned fruits. Someone asked a question about grapefruit, and I had a similar experience. I was asked not to have grapefruits during chemo, and I've had people being told, and this person also asked, why can't you have grapefruit during treatment? Why is grapefruit an enemy? It's supposed to be a good it's part of the rainbow.
Quite rightly. Good question. The grapefruit is part of the citric family. So we got the grapefruit, the lemon, the lime, and all those acidic fruits, all right? And particular grapefruits, and it's the treatment as well, but if anyone who's taking, I think it's blood pressure medication or blood thinners as well too, like the warfarin and those ones, because grapefruit has a compound there that would interfere with and stop. And sometimes you may think of fruits and vegetables as secondary, but they're powerful stuff. And grapefruit will interact and stop the treatment, interfere with the potency of the treatment or the medication that you're taking. And that's why it says if you must have grapefruit, it needs to be away from when you take your medication. So that's why you were probably told not to have grapefruit, because it can actually stop the treatment from working the way how it should. So it lessens it, so to speak.
True. Now that you say that, it's mostly leukemia patients that are told that. I've not asked this question to many people, but yes, mostly leukemia, as you say, if it affects the things in the blood and thinners.
With the blood, yes. So things that's something to do with the blood. So the blood thinners, the warfarins, all that stuff, I'm told not to have your grapefruit when you take it.
Sonya, just as we conclude, you did a book. You're an author.
I'm in the process of doing one.
Hey, where can I get your book? Where can people get your book? And what's the book about?
Right. And I'll say, I shouldn't use that line anymore because COVID's been around for a while, where we've been locked away from the face-to-face. But a lot of my work was face-to-face. Yeah. And so I wasn't focusing much on social media, like websites or blogs and Instagram and Facebook. But now I'm having to take it more there. So what I'm trying to say is I'm in the process now of being more present on those medias. So in the meantime, though, to get hold of me or to find me and to know when this book is going to be out, and I also have a masterclass coming up, and it's the 5 M's to boosting your health.
The 5 M's.
5 M's. M for mother. M. 5
okay.
M. Yeah. And so to keep in contact to know when that's going to be this year, in this quarter, so it'll be next couple of months, we're now in January, so maybe March, April, anyway. Yeah, I'll have that. So you can find me, if I can put my email in the chat. Do I have the chat here? I'll put my email here, and then probably you could post that wherever you need to post that. But you can find me at accessforhealth.com, and the email address is, because I do have an an ebook. There's two of them, one on sleep and one also on stress. How you can manage stress in today's world, how you manage stress. Let me just put my email here. So that's where to find me. There, that's the email address. And it's accessforhealth.com. Okay. But yeah, send me an email, or I'll give my WhatsApp number for those who probably want to reach me quite quickly. Okay. And yeah, that's WhatsApp. Reach me on WhatsApp on that number as well. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. So there's something else that I would ask. I'd want to, I think, for you to merge now and tell us. So I can be eating the right foods, even if I don't have an appetite. I'll be supplementing. But if I'm not sleeping and I'm stressed about being on treatment, this is messing up my nutrition and my health. Is that true?
Yes. So if you're not sleeping, not eating well, that will mess up your sleep. And I didn't go much into sleep this time, but I'll just quickly do a whistle to stop on it. If you're not eating well, that will impact on your sleep. And sleep is like a mineral. Sleep is like something we need on a daily basis. And I'm not just saying, I'll put my head down and wake up. No, we want restorative sleep. And especially, and I'll say this, especially on the line, if you have an underlying illness, you need to rest in order for the body to recuperate. When you're sleeping, then all the lovely nutrients you're eating during the day, that helps be absorbed properly in the brain, and all that happens. So we need to eat. We need to eat for sleep, restorative sleep. And if you find yourself waking up 1, 2 o'clock every morning, when you should be sleeping, that's telling you something. One thing we need to understand is that the body will speak to us, but are we listening? Are we listening to the little taps? Hey, that's not right. That little twitch, that little back pain. Wake up to that, and take that seriously, or do something about it. Find out why it is. So you'll be eating, trying to eat, not sleeping well because you've got things on your mind. You're not feeling well, so you're probably worrying about that. And that's where the stress comes in. We all have stress. To hear a news that you're ill, that's not good news. So you'll be stressing about that. But let's say, just remind yourself that stressing about it is a vicious cycle. It's going to impact on your eating. You're not going to be eating. You need the foods and the nutrients to build the body. You won't be sleeping well. That's for start. And that just messes up your whole thinking and how you process things anyway. So with the stress, try to find coping mechanisms, areas where you can cope to deal with that stress. And so then try to then put good nutrients in your body. It could be that you may not want to eat something. What about juicing it?
Yeah.
What about juicing that, the nutrients? And especially if you're feeling a bit weak and lethargic and tired, juicing is good. Juicing is one of the quickest ways to get the nutrients into the blood. There's a place for juicing, there's a place for smoothies.
Yes.
A lot of people have smoothies and think, right, I'm a lipid diet, fine. But are you breaking down the fiber? You may need to have the juice first to build up. Then you start doing the juice. So there's place for all of this, depending on the individual who needs it.
It sounds to me, I've learned a lot so far just having this conversation, and I'm just thinking it sounds as if when you have a guide, when you have someone to guide you on what to eat, as I say, you can go on Google and Google these things, but then if you have a certain guide, as you're telling us now. Some of these things, as if we know, but we just need to be told, and things need to be explained a bit more. So, did you say that you help everyone? You can help people with chronic illnesses, people, anyone can reach out to you, right?
Yes.
Right. That's good. That's good. It's good to know, because people need to know this information. And as I said, it feels as if maybe it's accountability, but I feel as if you are here in my head, I'd be doing more. I'd be doing better than I'm doing now. And is this something psychological? Because I'm thinking, why can't I just do it on my own?
Yeah, and and that's why some people, you hit it on the head. It's sometimes you know what to do, but how to do it. All right, so I need to eat my vegetables.
Yeah.
What do I put with what to eat? That's one. What time am I eating them as well? Am I eating too often? Is another one. Because when you have your breakfast in the morning, you should be, say, for example, you're eating at 8 o'clock. Say you have a breakfast at 8, whatever time. You should be snacking again at 11 or 10 o'clock or 12. You should be waiting at least 4 hours in between for your next meal. Now that may blow your mind.
Yes, it is already blowing my mind. Wow.
There should be a gap. I'll tell you why. Just imagine, think of the washing machine, right?
Yes.
So you put the clothes in to wash.
Yes.
Spinning, you stop it, you add more clothes in. Those clothes are already in there, have to stop waiting for this other load to come in. They're coming, you're more or less gone through a couple of cycles there now. So maybe you were close to rinse, but you have one more wash. So they're really more or less clean. You're putting some more clothes to be washed. And you start the cycle again. When you keep just interrupting the washing machine, let it finish that cycle, then you put more clothes in to wash. When you eat your meal and you start snacking, the food that's already gone down starts to break down and to be digested and to be assimilated. When you eat again, you stop the process. The gut thinking, we've got biscuits to deal with now. Biscuits coming in, or whether snacks coming, because I tell you what, it's never usually a fruit. It's always some. I'm not going by the experience in terms of what clients tell me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? And there's chocolates coming in, there's biscuits, whatever is coming in, sweets coming in. And it has to stop to deal with. And don't get me started with sodas, because that is just, sodas. Woo.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we're dealing with the biscuit coming in and has to go back up the way to start breaking that down. More digestive juices, more things to deal with the biscuit. The rest of foods down here waiting to be digested again. And that's why sometimes you have fermentation in your gut. Sometimes that's what attributes to burping and acid reflux. Something you eat something and it's not, my stomach's not settling. What did you eat with it? Are you eating and drinking at the same time?
Yes.
That's a no. Because the body's so clever, it doesn't need your sodas and your water to break that food down. Why? Because you should have enough hydrochloric acid, let me just say, enough juices, digestive juices in the stomach, in the gut, to break down the food. It doesn't need your water, and it doesn't need your juice and your sodas. And when you do that, you're diluting the natural process of the body. And that in itself is not something nice for the body to deal with. Now, that's always a big hit in the head when I say that to people.
Yeah.
Eating and drinking at the same time is no. And I always say to my clients, try not to do that. Try not to do that. Break yourself off. You won't do it immediately, because some people say, I need the juice so the food go down.
Yeah.
Or else it'll stuck up my throat. No. What are you eating? Dry, dry, what's it called? There's this rock cake that you need, the crumbs is chocolate. What are you eating?
Well, it reminds me of when we go out for a buffet and you want to eat everything. You want to eat starter, main, and dessert all in one go.
And that's fine. If you're going to eat, you eat all that at one meal. Okay. But the drinking and the eating is a no-no. And as for eating ice cream at the end of the meal and stuff, that's another discussion for another day. All right? Because you want to leave you on a high where, want to leave you on a high.
I think the best thing will be for people to read your ebook. I think it's going to be very, 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 very informative, because there's some of these things that we don't know. In fact, you mentioned it last time with the whole water eating. I stopped. I used to do it before. I stopped. Every time I want to drink water in between my eating, I hear you in my head.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Mission accomplished. Right. Yeah. I mean, of course, you mentioned water, but we didn't talk about water. But that's another. It's as I say, nutrition. Talk about nutrition is vast. Can never cover it all in one session. So yeah.
Well, today we've learned a lot so far, because what I've had from you is that make my plate a rainbow, and that will be my friend, whether it's meat, vegetables, whatever carbohydrates, as long as it's a rainbow. Have the right attitude. That's one thing that we've learned. Attitude and food go hand in hand. Your gut is telling you something every single time. Guess that's why we say, listen to your gut. It will tell you something. And we've learned something else. Big, Mr. Big, the brain, the immune system, and the gut, which is quite important. We didn't know this information. So thank you so much, Ms. Barnes. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
What I would say is, one, be the CEO of your health. Be interested in your health. Don't leave it up to anybody else to help your health. You go to them for support, don't get me wrong. But make the decision to what you put into your body, what you eat in particular, that is to strengthen the body and not to destroy the body. Definitely. And, be aware of the little symptoms that you feel. So being tired all the time, lethargic, being, fatigue, all that. Those are signs the body saying, hey, I need something else here in the diet. Try and find out what it is to put that in, because that's why we feel the way we do. Feel groggy one morning, start feeling pain. And it starts with the little things. Then it builds up. You realize, oh, it's difficult for me to get out of bed now. My back hurts, my knee hurts. And then you think, okay, I'm not able to walk. And that's how it happens. It's just like, some cancers, some chronic illness doesn't just happen immediately. Some, I say some. It's a period of time build up. I think I may have said this the last time I was here, to say, you're putting stuff in the attic, you're putting stuff up there as storage. One day you realize the truck door won't shut, it won't close. Why? Because there's too many things up there, and everything starts falling out. The body operates like that too. It says, I've been dealing with this all along. And that's why some people say, but I always eat that. It never troubled me. It's troubling you now. It's just that the body dealt with it over the years. And some of the signs you didn't take notice of, like a food sensitivity or intolerance of something. And then all of a sudden, wow, I can't eat that food anymore or I'm developed this symptom or illness. Pay attention to you. Pay attention to you. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your health. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this information. Veronica, would you like to say anything today?
Amazing. It's that information is very, very helpful. We are in charge of our bodies, but guess what? We are always messing this vehicle that is supposed to take us everywhere and do the things we need to do, and yet we don't take care of it. And it's amazing when you learn about food, because I think we take it for granted.
We do.
So I'm really I've got to leave this event with some tips, as you say, about the water thing, the vegetable thing. I love vegetables, but I as you say, sometimes you look at broccoli and you say, oh my goodness.
Not again.
Especially if they are just steamed,
Yeah.
Let me just say one quick thing. They ask about what they want to leave with you. And I want to leave the word blesses. 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 Blesses, right? And the B is for breathing. Take deep breaths. I know we talk about, no, this is particularly about nutrition, but these are just those added things for us on a daily basis. The L is laughter. Don't underestimate laughter. I know we live in a world that is just doom and gloom.
Yes.
Try and find time to laugh, regardless of what's happening around you. Okay. And the stresses, we need to find coping mechanisms for that. So BLE, E for exercise. S is for splashing water on the face or cold water.
Oh.
Sometimes you're feeling druggy and start feeling, you know, lethargic. Splash your face with some cold water. Helps with circulation as well. Singing. Now people say, I don't have a voice, I can't sing. We all can sing. When you go in your shower, just sing aloud, because that helps our vagus nerve. I spoke very briefly about the vagus nerve, and singing helps stimulate. Humming a song helps stimulate. The laughter, all that does as well. Deep breathing, all right? And the next, the E is to eat, to strengthen the body. And the other S is spend time in nature, which means going out for walks, being in the outdoors. That the blessings will couple along with the nutrition you need. I just want to say that. Sorry,
thank you. Yeah, that's a bonus. Thank you so much, Sonya. We are very blessed to have you. I hope whoever has listened to us has taken something home, something that we can be able to utilize, and especially for those people who are looking after people who have long-term illnesses like cancer, because I think at that point, I think it is very, very, very important when we are unwell. But as I said, it's good to be careful before we get unwell. But it is also very, very important when people are unwell to eat the right stuff so that they can recover very quickly. And I'm saying this because I've been there. I wish some of the information I knew then when I was looking after my son, Kevin. And I know that nutrition is food, is medicine. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who have joined us today. Thank you, Jen, for such a good session. And I hope we see you next time in our next session, which we're going to be advertising soon. Thanks again. And thank you, Sonya.
I'd like to say something as well. KQLT supports very many people with cancer, the families that have are going through it. So if you know of anyone who's going through leukemia at the moment, please let us know. Get in touch with us. We're happy to talk. We're happy to go visit them. We also do goodie bags and go visit them. This journey is not easy. If you know someone who's going through this illness called cancer, direct them our way. We're happy to help. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We do these things so that we can help someone else. When we were going through this, we didn't have as much support as we're giving now. So if you know someone, please don't be quiet. Just direct them our way. We'll deal with them. So thank you so much for everyone that joined us today. If you're going to watch this on repeat or you're going to watch it a bit later, enjoy and join us next time. Thank you so much, and bye-bye to everyone on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Before we go, we thank our admin and the people who are behind the wires, who are making it all happen behind the scenes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard and